Hey guys, here's how we made $15,000 on this property right behind me in only 7 days. And guess what we didn't do? We didn't buy it with our own money, nor did we flip it. We sold it exactly the way you see it is. We sold it to what we call a cash buyer. And guys, this is called wholesaling properties. This is when you find ugly houses, you put them under contract, and you just sell the contract. So that means you don't need money. But how did we find this deal? We went after a list that is called pre-foreclosures, and these are sellers typically that are behind on their mortgage, and the lenders are trying to take over the home and foreclose on it. My partner Andrew is the one who actually called the seller. At first, the seller hung up and said, I don't want nothing to do with this property, right? As you guys can see, the person we sold it to, the cash buyer, just started doing the work, but the property inside, guys, you cannot walk in, right? That's how trashy it is. But there is an interesting story here because this seller actually got taken advantage of by the lender, and we should have made actually $40,000. We ended up making 15 because of that exact fact. But I'm gonna let Andrew go into the story. First thing is, you called this seller and then he hung up. What made you follow up? Because I know you kept persistent. That's how we got hold of it.
Oh well, in the initial stage, when time the call was actually made, Mamadou, the guy said to me like, "Hey, listen, I don't want to have nothing to do with that property. Now I'm living in Conyers." So of course, I go drive just to see what the situation is. Came out here and saw that the property was actually empty. Went ahead and contacted his daughter. His daughter is the one that gave me the full spectrum as to what's going on. Let me know that he was in Macon, which is an hour and a half from Conyers. Actually decided to make the drive. Now, after I spoke, I actually have that conversation recorded, by the way. After speaking with the daughter, Mamadou, she gave me the history of what's going on. Very sickly guy, moved to Macon to take care of his mom. Mom recently passed as I get the news. Condolence to Jack and the family.
Yeah, she passed right after we closed.
Right after we closed. Yeah. So after she gave me that backstory as to what's happening, decided to take the trip. Going down there, see what exactly is happening. Went down there, door knock him. Sweet guy. Sweet guy. Because the daughter, see, this is why whenever you talk to family members, not because the family member have a bad experience with the person, that means you're going to experience the same thing. Because she told me that this guy is a very disgruntled guy. Right. Me and this guy spent 3 hours sitting down talking as to how we can come up with a solution. Even right now, me and this guy become super cool friend. Jack, wherever he is, God bless his soul, long life. And that's how it typically goes. Told him what we could do for the property. Now, the bank also, as you know, take advantage of this situation by...
How much was he behind on?
$77,000.
So he was behind, guys, $77,000. And what Andrew just said is key. Even though he found the daughter, and I know you guys are going to ask, he found the daughter on truepeoplesearch.com. It's absolutely free. So he found the daughter, didn't give up, even though the guy hung up. Then the daughter is like, hey, I don't know how you're going to do this because this guy is hard to deal with. I don't think he's going to be able to talk to you, or he's very, mentally not stable. But Andrew decided to ignore it just because sometimes in life it's not because the homeowner don't get along with the family members, that means they won't get along with you, the strangers that is trying to help them avoid foreclosure on this property and help them move on to the next chapter of their life. So he took it up on him as a responsibility without telling the daughter. Yes. And he went ahead and find the primary residence of the homeowner, door knocked him, and they had a 3-hour conversation?
3 hours.
3 hours, guys. That's why I love pre-foreclosures. Every single time, not only is it a puzzle, but it is a responsibility. Imagine if Andrew had just given up completely on this guy just because he hung up, or given up after the daughter said, don't even go try to deal with this guy. It's not going to work, right? So with that being said, when you talked to him, you said he was behind $77,000. And then what is the crazy story that happened with the lender?
Oh, well, for the lender, because this property was vacant for quite some time, they came in and said that they put a lockbox on it and they did a little bit of work on it, calling it preservation, whatever preservation it is. But we end up closing on this property at $140,000. So do the maths from $77,000, which was the principal amount on the loan, to closing at $140,000.
Right.
I don't know what seven.
So that means, guys, what he means by closing at $140,000 is that when we went to close, the payoff. Yeah. Mind you, when we talked to the seller, we had a payoff at $77,000.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, this lender sent a new payoff of $140,000. And no, we didn't miss anything. This is where the story get interesting. Okay, so you guys know the bump.
Yeah, we actually didn't miss anything. When we asked the lender what was the reason for that increase, they said it was something for the preservation, meaning they came in and did, I don't know if Steve could show you, but they came in and did that. That's what caused whatever the difference is between 77,000 and 140. They said they did some work on it.
Pretended they did the roof, and the roof was not done at all whatsoever.
At all. So guys, as I said before, with these deals, you have to be persistent. Now, pre-foreclosure, for me, pre-foreclosure, the home have to be sold, Mamadou. That's the only reason for me to even give up on any lead. The home has to be one sold. Even if the person decided to reinstate the loan or do a modification, that's still a follow-up all day for me. Guys, even inside the same neighborhood, we just pick up a property around that side that I'm already in contact with the son of the homeowner. So guys, pre-foreclosure is it. Mamadou can tell you a little bit more about it. Him do way more talking than me. Me just close deals. That's what I specialize in. So Mamadou, this is how it really worked for this one. Very interesting deal, by the way. Sweet guy. And that's how this one went.
Yeah, guys, so with that being said, even though we closed with that payoff and we did call the lender to ask, because we work with transactmasters.com, and they called the lenders and negotiate for us. So they called and asked the lender to say, hey, where is this increase of what, over 40 grand?
Of course.
Came from within a 2-week span. Can you explain to me, break down the amounts? Where is this money was spent on? And they don't want to answer it. They said they did some work. The property is a shit show. Nobody did any work. So obviously there's a scam. So we had to lower our initial $40,000 that we would have made, lower the amount we would have given to the seller as well in order to make it work. So we went from $40,000 to $15,000, guys. This is what you are, though. You are a problem solver when you deal with these homeowners. Not only that, we promised the homeowner that after close of escrow, we will find an attorney that will help us go after this lender, because this lender is a specific one. He's a private lender, meaning this is not Chase, this is not Bank of America, this is not these kind of big banks. He just bought the loan, right? So we're gonna keep our promise and go after this and try to get those excess funds that they scammed them and then try to retrieve some of those funds, give some to the seller, and then we keep some for us as well. All right, guys, so make it a mission to go after these pre-foreclosures. Make sure you keep the boom mindset. Obviously, if you're gonna do this kind of deals, you have to be bold and brave. You have to be obsessed with this. Not only that, you also have to be optimistic, and lastly, you gotta have that abundance mindset to believe that you can actually go find ugly houses like this, right, and do nothing to it. Just negotiate it, put it on the contract, and you sell that contract for a fee and make a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and your life can change forever from there. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment below. I'll actually probably put the call that you have in the comments. Maybe you guys can listen to that, but we'll see you guys in the next video. Like the video, guys. It definitely helps the algorithm, and leave a comment. All right, boom, boom, boom.